Hello everyone and welcome to this latest video discussion as part of the RICS Tech Partner Programme. My name is Andrew Knight and I've been with RICS for over 12 years now. I sit within our knowledge and practice area of the organisation, and my role is to look at the impact of data and tech right across the built and natural environment. And with over 110,000 qualified members working worldwide right across that property life cycle, all the way through land, planning and development, construction, valuation, finance, brokerage, building and asset management, building surveying. It's obviously a very, very broad church upon which data and tech's having a very profound effect. And indeed, our members also work across all the major asset types: land itself, residential, commercial in all its forms, alternative assets and infrastructure. So once again, a very broad canvas upon which data and tech is impacting the sector. And today I'm really glad to have Freddie back from Trustek. So welcome back to the discussion, Freddie.
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you for having us back so short after the last time we were here.
Well, absolute pleasure. And I guess for those who didn't see the first video, it'd be great if you could perhaps just give us a bit of a quick thumbnail sketch about your background and Trustek.
Yeah, so I was a chartered surveyor for 9 years before running my own technology business in the world of Proptech, and Trustek is really born out of the combination of my personal experience and my business partner's experience. So we're an independent property technology consultancy, so we have no product to sell, but we work alongside the owners and operators of buildings across sectors to basically help them understand what technologies are right for them, understand their problems, and then through competitive procurement of a very busy marketplace, help them select and deploy the right technologies to solve those problems.
Thanks, Freddie. And I know last time we spoke, you were just on the cusp of launching this Trustek Verified, and obviously the reason it's really interesting to come back to you so soon is to really hear about why did you develop this Trustek Verified?
Well, yeah, I think for us it's been a long time in the making, really. Why did we create it? We found, and I think the RICS Tech Framework is kind of one of those as well, in the way that there's lots of places with logos and information about technologies that are available on the market, but actually there's not a huge way to filter these, to distill down to what is right for me and what's right for my building. And a lot of the sales collateral that exists around these technologies don't often give you some basics around, be that product dependencies, be that service charge recoverability, be that live integrations they have, which kind of those are one of the critical things, well, some of the many critical things that we think are really important to due diligence when it comes to selecting the right solution. And we felt that through working with our clients and the technology companies themselves, that there sort of needs to be something that makes this easier for everybody. So it makes it easier for the technology companies that want to get access to the market, and makes it easier for our clients, our buyers, to actually go, well, you know, who should I go and talk to? How do I get to a shortlist quickly? So we created the marketplace to hopefully expedite the process and give kind of much needed transparency around a lot of these technology companies.
Indeed. And I guess one question that does spring to mind is, you know, lots of marketplaces are quite complex. And I guess when you look at real estate and also the Proptech sector as well, there's a whole host of accreditations and certifications, whether you think at the kind of level of accrediting buildings, but when you look at suppliers as well, there's a real kind of landscape of this. And I guess it'd be really great to position Trustek Verified as what it is and perhaps also what it isn't, because sometimes it's important to define what it doesn't do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are, you know, there's an abundance of certifications that exist in the market. I think for us, the verification process is not about ticking a box. It's not about going, oh, we put loads of things into our building, now the building's smart. It's really about an understanding about what the capabilities are of technology companies that are available. We fully agree there are so many technologies out there that cover such a huge array, and I think even the word Proptech we have kind of a challenge with, because we often get asked, like, you're a Proptech consultant, like what on earth is that, and where does it stop, where does it start? So the marketplace as it is today is a byproduct of the work that we've done over the last few years with our customers. And what I mean by that is the products we've been asked to look into to essentially run procurement exercises for, that's really where we started. So, you know, the verification process is not to, you know, select a partner to help you achieve accreditation. In fact, what we've seen and what we include in our reports is that a lot of these products actually help you across multiple certifications. So it's not a case of, I'm going for Briam or I'm going for Neighbours. Okay, well, that means where do I go and buy a product? Often it's a combination of products you need. And I think that's one thing that we're very passionate about, is sort of trying to end this pursuit of the silver bullet, the one product that does everything you need in one place. It's the realities are, given the relatively fragmented solutions that exist in the market, it's going to be a combination of things or companies to be able to get you to the outcome you need. Be that an accreditation, or be that something to do with your net zero pathway or improving customer experience. So we're not trying to say that, you know, Verified is going to help you achieve these, but actually really we're trying to help you understand the alignment of multiple products to help you achieve a certification. So it's not a badge. It's not something that at the moment we think that landlords or owners would put on their building saying we have a verified technology company working in this building. It's really about people being able to buy with a bit of confidence that somebody has independently reviewed a technology and given a SWOT analysis about that company to help them really make that buying decision easier and hopefully less risky.
Indeed, and I suppose it was interesting you touched on the kind of similar theme that I'm not a great fan of the word Proptech, because it kind of means different things to different people. And when you look at the whole built and natural environment, it's a huge range of use cases. And as I said in my introduction, asset types and you know, parts of the life cycle. And I must admit, I shy away from it if I can, and rather talk about just the application of data and technology right across that built environment. But I guess having said that, there's still a real kind of need to educate the kind of existing real estate profession around whatever Proptech means, or perhaps this broader definition. How do you still see that importance playing out? Because although, you know, data and tech solutions in the property sector have been around for a long time now, there's still a long journey, isn't there, in terms of digitizing the overall sector?
Yeah, I fully agree. And I think a big part of what we're trying to do is not stand on the sidelines kind of looking in going, why is this not happening? Why are people not getting it? Why are they not getting excited about it? And I think the reality is that as real estate professionals, you have a huge amount to do in your day job. You know, just doing the standard jobs and tasks of what you're doing, and having time in your life and your career to innovate, to look up over the horizon, to, you know, take time to look into technology is a huge thing that I think really should become more and more part of frameworks of employment contracts and training and education within, you know, the built environment. And that's everyone from, you know, a facilities manager all the way through to a fund manager. And I think a lot of people are at different stages of their educational journey around technology in the realm. And there is a huge amount of education needs to be done. I think a big frustration of ours is that often the way in which products are presented is in a very jargon heavy narrative, and the complexities and the way in which these very sophisticated products work is interesting to those who understand the differences between one and another. And I think that really what we're trying to do is help people define the outcomes they need and think about ways to automate processes, and, you know, kind of figure out what they're doing today, like kind of stop. And one of the reasons why we audit buildings is to kind of go, the first question is, what have you got in there today that we would deem to be Proptech? And I think it's always a combination of hardware and software. And then kind of go, well, how am I doing this today? Could I find a way to automate this process to give me some time back in what I'm doing in my day? Can I be more efficient in what I'm doing? And again, the other challenge we see is, whose role is it in the ecosystem to do that piece of work? You know, is it the fund manager? Is it the asset manager? Is it the facilities manager? Is it the building manager? Like, who is the stakeholder group that's actually meant to be leading the charge? And I think often what we've seen is there's an assumption that somebody else is doing it, and somebody else has the expertise, and somebody else is going out to market to procure it. And really, you know, by trying to create a free, you know, marketplace, which means it doesn't matter who you are in that ecosystem, you can go and hopefully read our report. And we know full well that, I talk about it as like, you know, we've given birth to the marketplace, and now we have to hear if our baby's ugly or not. We know we're going to have to change the report, and we know we're going to have to, you know, add information, remove something, simplify it. But really for us, it should be hopefully a great starting place for anybody who's interested in technology in the realm to come and see it. And at the moment, we've got between 25 and 30 technologies, which, given the 10,000 plus in the market, you know, is not the finished article, it's the beginning of it. And really we're hoping that the more people that interact with it, the more people that come and give us feedback, we'll be able to iterate it. And for us, we're not a marketplace business. That's something that's really important to us. You know, our job is not to create a marketplace and sit back and watch it. It's to continue to work with people to help them, you know, take the time to find the problems, take the time to think about, is there a solution to it? You know, and then the verification process kind of comes at the end of it as opposed to at the start.
Indeed. It's interesting you mentioned that figure of 10,000, because depending on the kind of scope of PropTech firms that you look at and from a jurisdictional perspective, you can hear people quoting sort of 18, 20,000 firms out there providing solutions. And I guess from a procurement perspective, that is incredibly complicated. And you mentioned the fact that at the moment, you're probably not looking at one solution. You're having to kind of knit together, if I can use that expression, a number of different solutions. And I guess I also hear a lot of pushback from the market about, and somebody said to me that the phrase, you know, I don't want yet another tab on my browser. There's that kind of, you know, tension between wanting to have a really elegant solution, but realizing that no solution will provide it all. So I guess given that fundamental issue of procurement, you know, where do our RICS members, you know, usually go to start this kind of job of actually saying, well, how do I knit together a tech stack, to use the jargon, where I'm going to have to perhaps bolt together a few things to get the thing that overall, you know, solves my business problem?
Yeah, I think that is one of the reasons why we created it. At the moment, there's lots of places to find logos and places to find businesses, but not a way to distill down to an outcome or to a problem. It's sort of like, okay, well, I can read through the 500 or 18,000 members, but how do I filter down to get it? And we talk often about, you know, as an RICS member, can you go to the tech framework? Does it have enough information in the framework to help them distill down it? Does it have the contact details? Does it have sales collateral? You know, it's a fantastic, you know, place to put things together and make sure there's an awareness of it. But often these things are not Googleable, which I know is a terrible term, but writing, I need an independent data layer for my building. What's that going to give you? How is that going to help you get to that? And even going through the RICS marketplace, it's sort of amazing number of companies, and some of which are also verified. But are professionals being told to go to the marketplace to go and find things? I don't believe they are. I mean, obviously you can tell me differently, you're on the inside, but I don't believe that's one of the objectives of the framework.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
No, and I guess from that perspective, Freddie, you've already alluded to the fact that one of the additional challenges in our sector is this kind of ecosystem of stakeholders, where you get multiple people who have an interest, and the danger that nobody thinks it's their job. So from that perspective, when you developed Verified, is it this kind of all-encompassing audience that you're able to talk to? Which stakeholders have you perhaps particularly focused on, or is it really anybody who's involved in the procurement on both sides of the fence?
I think organically, because of the customers that we've worked with, our core market are the landlords and owners of buildings that we're talking to around their own technology journey, and the building operation team, which is multiple stakeholders. So, asset management, ESG, potentially facilities management, maybe even down to M&E engineers. Those people we know are actively the users of technology, as well as not always the buyers of it. So that's really our focus. But there's a whole nother ecosystem of what occupiers want and need in buildings or from buildings, that we also believe there's that opportunity for them to come back to the real estate team and go, I'm about to acquire space in a building, or I need this piece of data for my own internal reporting. How can you help me get that? So we kind of see there'll be a progression through that stakeholder group. But for right now, we just hope it's something that, if somebody gets an inbound email from a salesperson, which obviously there's a huge amount of those out there, hopefully it'll be an opportunity for them to actually come to the marketplace and read an independent analysis on the company without necessarily needing to book that video call, demo meeting, have another follow-up, bring another team member into it. It's a way to hopefully save them some time, because we talk about, if you gave every one of the PropTech companies out there an hour of your time, 21 years later, you'd be finished and you probably would not avoid anything. So anything we can do to help reduce that time, for us, we are technology advocates. We want to make the process easier for people. And another tab on that is definitely on their website or their screen is not going to necessarily solve that problem. And I think that, so yeah, that's really our focus at the moment, is landlords and managing agents or operators of buildings.
Indeed. No, and we touched on obviously the purpose of the RSS program, and as you say, it isn't a marketplace. This is a thought leadership run program to enable us to get insight in terms of what's going on in the data and tech market in the built environment, not only in the UK but more broadly, and also certainly to then produce content that we can then replay back to our profession to help them understand what's going on, because it is, as we've discussed almost at length here this morning, quite a hard kind of marketplace to understand in terms of the variation of the kind of firms in there. And whilst we certainly verify our partners in terms of code of conduct, which, as you know, you sign up to, our job is not to create a marketplace. However, having said that, what can our tech partners do to support the verified project, or the verified service that you're now producing and supporting?
Well, I think we'd love to find a way to be able to collaborate between the RICS tech framework and the verified marketplace, to sort of see it as a way that people can get the benefits of best of both. Ultimately, you are a global, institution with people working cross-sector, cross-border, a huge array of things. And really for us, anyone that we believe that has an opportunity or wants to have a desire to work in the UK market, or to at least have an understanding of it, we're really there to hopefully help those businesses from a technology perspective find and understand the nuances around both competition and expectations from the market, which is fundamentally different. You can't look at an American product in the UK because their product will be fit and set for their jurisdiction and what they're doing. And same as Central European businesses coming to the UK, there are wonderful nuances between all these marketplaces, and it's not a copy and paste. It has to be relevant, be that square meters to square feet, be that general GDPR, especially if you're coming over from the States. There's little nuances, and so for us, we love to find a way to get more of the RICS tech partners onto the marketplace, and even in a way in which the RICS could help support helping the real estate professionals find another way or another means to be able to filter and find these products that have gone through your due diligence process and through ours, which hopefully our overall objective is that more people are interested, more people want to invest in them, more people feel confident in their buying decision. That's our overall objective for it.
Indeed. Well, let's work together on that and work out how we can collaborate in that way. And I guess it's interesting you mentioned those kind of jurisdictional differences, because I guess that's one of the challenges, both for Proptech firms and for users of Proptech, is that quite often, these solutions are harder to scale across borders. It's a sector where you have all these jurisdictional differences and nuances where other sectors have been able to scale up perhaps more easily than property technology.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a huge part of the validation of our due diligence process when doing procurement for our customers is to understand what is the local footprint of the team. And that will impact a huge amount about the service license agreement and support function. And we would, score a business that has one person in the UK lower than one that has an established UK team. And we look at the number of UK deployments here, and it might be one building. So, well, okay, well, kind of that puts you on the higher risk curve for a business. And there's also a lot of companies in financial maturity or financial infancy. So, how reliable and stable is the company, which is a new question which is coming up because it's impacting everyone from a macroeconomic perspective. Of a lot of these projects we're talking about, especially in construction, will be ready in 3 years' time or 4 years' time. And actually, will the business that's there today still be around in 4 years' time? And or will the product and pricing still be around? But I think for us is the more time we spend with learning about different vendors' challenges and different nuances around listening to the buyers and what their problems are and what they need to overcome, that sort of knowledge base we take from our core customers, our clients, is what we bring to the technology companies that are trying to get into the UK market. To go, you've got an amazing product, but you're up against these people here that have been here for 5, 10 years or longer. So you're going to have to think quite carefully about your go-to-market strategy. Otherwise, you'll end up going into a meeting that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's been fascinating to chat as ever, Freddie, and let's work together, about how we can actually collaborate on this whole verified concept, because as you say, we have a complex market for people to navigate within this data and tech prop tech sector, and anything that makes that journey risk-free, quicker, more efficient, I think is to be applauded. So for today, thanks ever so much for your time and look forward to catching up again.
Thanks very much, Andrew. Always appreciate the opportunity to talk to the RICS.
Pleasure.